Well, good evening. This is Kent Blaylock with SDG Replays coming to you this evening. I took my studio outdoors as I am in my backyard. A beautiful evening here in North Carolina. We're in the 70s. It just feels nice, so I brought it outside. So if you hear any racket in the background, it might be a weed eater. It might be my dogs barking. And we're just going to enjoy the ambiance of living in a small town in North Carolina as I have a neighbor drive by even as we speak. But we're going to be continuing in this replay that I'm doing using different game systems. We're using Action PC, PC Replay, and Digital Diamond. This evening's game is going to be using PC Replay. We're playing the 1956 season, picking games from each week to play with each system, and not the same games because I didn't want the monotony of that. And so we're going to this evening being listen to and watch a game between the Chicago Cubs, who are struggling early in the season. They're at 2-5 against the Cincinnati Reds at 3-4. Crosley, and we'll be at Crosley Field in Cincinnati. And there are my dogs enjoying this evening as well. I have a 1.5-year-old Jack Russell named Piper and a 13-year-old Jack Russell named Annie, short for Anchovy. So that's what we got going on right now. The 1.5-year-old has made Anchovy young again. So that's going to be our game. We will be getting into it briefly. I hope you enjoy. Welcome to Crosley Field in Cincinnati as we find the 2-5 Chicago Cubs visiting the 3-4 Cincinnati Reds. Lineups for the 1956 Cubs, who in 1956 went 60-94, finishing 8th in the National League, coached by Stan Hack. Leading off and playing third base will be Don Hoke. In center field, Solly Drake. In the third spot, playing first base, D. Fondy. And batting in the fourth spot, playing shortstop, Mr. Cub, Ernie Banks. In right field, batting in the fifth spot, Walt Moose Morin. Batting in the sixth spot, left fielder, Monty Irvin. Batting in the seventh spot, second baseman, Gene Baker. Batting in the eighth spot, catcher, Hobie Landreth. And your pitcher for the Cubs, batting in the ninth spot, Russ Rowdy Meyer. Pitching for the Cincinnati Reds will be Johnny Klipstein. In 56, he had 29 games started. He was 12-11 with one save, 4.09 ERA, and a 1.43 WHIP. Leading off for the 56 Chicago Cubs, Don Hoke, who in that season batted .215 with 5 home runs. So far in this replay, he's batting .233. So let's get this game started as Klipstein gets the signal from Bailey, goes into his windup. Here is the pitch. It's a pop-up to third. An easy P3 put-out for Jablonski. Out number one.
Out, base is empty.
Coming up to the plate, Solly Drake. Drake on the season batted .256 with 2 home runs. So far in this replay, he's batting .316 with 2 RBIs. Here's the pitch to Drake. It's a foul out. Down the third base line, Jablonski ranges underneath it. Foul ball out. 2 up, 2 down.
2 outs, bases empty.
Bring up D. Fondy. Fondy on the season batted .269 with 9 home runs. So far in this season, he's at the Mendoza line, so he's not up to snuff so far as Klipstein goes into his windup. Fondy digs in. Here's the pitch. It's a fly out deep right field. Post settles underneath it for out number 3. 3 up and 3 down, and we go to the bottom of the first. Scoreless as Cincinnati comes to the plate. Lineup for Cincinnati. Leading off, playing second base, Johnny Temple. Batting in the second spot and playing left field, Stan Palas. Batting in third spot, playing center field, Gus Bell. Batting in the fourth spot, playing third base, Ray Jablonski. Batting in the fifth spot and playing first base, George Crow, Big George Crow. Batting in your fifth spot. Batting in the third, sixth spot, playing right field, Wally Post. Batting in the seventh spot and catching, Ed Bailey. Batting in the eighth spot, playing short, Roy McMillan. And your pitcher again is Johnny Klipstein. Where's Klipstein? Yeah. So leading off for the Cincinnati Reds, Johnny Temple batted .285 with 2 home runs in 56. So far he's batting .273 with 2 RBIs here in this replay. Meyer goes into his windup, and the pitch. Ground ball to short. Banks up with it, fires it over the first for the 6-3 put out.
1 out, bases
out number
empty.
1. That brings up Stan Palas. Batted .226 with 2 home runs in 56. Is yet to come to have a plate appearance in this replay. Well, excuse me, had 3 at-bats, yet to have a hit, as Meyer goes into his windup. Here comes the pitch to Palas. And he walks him, gives him a free pass as Palas is on.
1 out,
gets the free pass from Meyer. And that brings up Gus Bell. I got to do a column 5 re-roll. And it's a pitch in the dirt, a wild pitch, but it is blocked by the catcher.
1 out, man on first.
No pass ball. As that'll bring Gus Bell back up to the plate. As Meyer gets his signal from Landreth. Here comes the pitch. And it's a single up the middle. Hit sharply up the pipe. Drake fields it. Fires it back in. We got runners on first and second with 1 out. Palas on second, Bell on first, and that brings up Jablonski. Batted .256 with 15 home runs in 1956. So far in this replay, he's batting .214, but he does have 2 home runs and 7 RBIs, as infield in halfway, double play depth. Here is the pitch from Meyer. Jablonski digging in. And he hits a deep fly ball to right field. Morin underneath it for the F8 put out.
2 outs, men
out
on
number
first and
2.
second.
And that'll bring up Big George Crow, who batted .250 with 10 home runs in 1956. So far he's at the Mendoza line for this season, as Meyer gets the signal from Landreth. Here's the pitch as he bears down, and We'll go into a ballpark effect, column 3 roll. He's got a 5 out of 6 chance for a hit. The only way it'll be an out is if he rolls a 1. Here comes the dice roll, and it was a 2, so it's a single to left field. That loads the bases. We're going to check with the third base coach as we will roll to see if Paulus can get an extra base, and he does. So Big George Crow singles in the first run of the game, an RBI single for Crow.
2 outs, men on first and second.
As it's now 1-0 Cincinnati as Wally Post comes to the plate. Post batted .249 in 56, but he did have 36 home runs. He's batting .267 in this replay with a home run and 3 RBIs. Runners on first and second, 2 outs as Post digs in. Meyer bearing down on Post. And
1 run,
against a
2
right-handed
hits,
pitcher, it's a
and 2 left
leaping
on.
catch by Banks at short to end the inning. But after
Top of the second.
1, it's 1-0 Cincinnati. So we go to the top of the second with Cincinnati up 1-0 on the Chicago Cubs. And coming to the plate for the Cubs, Mr. Cub himself, Ernie Banks, who batted .297 with 28 home runs in 1956. So far, he's swinging a hot bat here in this replay. He's batting .444 with 5 home runs and 9 RBIs. As Clipstein gets the signal from Bailey. Bailey shakes him off. Clipstein shakes him off back. Finally come in agreement and bring the pitch to Banks. It's ground ball to second. Temple up with it, over to first for the 4-3 put out. And out number 1.
Out, base is empty.
That'll bring Walt Morin to the plate. Morin batted .285 with 23 home runs in 56. So far he is at 200 with 3 RBIs on 5 hits. Clipstein into his windup. And the pitch. It's a pop-up to third. Jablonski, Jabo underneath it. Easy play on the P5 put out.
2 outs, base is empty.
Out number 2. As Monty Irvin comes to the plate, batting .271. He batted .271 in the 56 season with 15 home runs. A little below average right now as he's only batting .179, 5 for 28, but it does have 2 home runs in those 5 hits. He struck out 4 times. So here comes the pitch from Clipstein as Irvin digs in. Here's the offering from Clipstein. He strikes him out. That'll be the first strikeout
1, 2, 3.
in the game as Irvin goes down swinging.
Bottom of the second.
And we go to the bottom of the second with Cincinnati still up 1-0. And Ed Bailey coming to the plate. Batted .300 in 56 with 28 home runs. So far he's 0 for the season. He's 0 for 4, so he's looking to get on the stat sheet as Meyer gets the signal from Landreth, brings the pitch to Bailey. Bailey swinging, and he hits a sharp liner into right field, bounces in front of Morin for a leadoff single.
No outs, man on
For
first.
Bailey, so he is now on the stat sheet. As now Roy McMillan comes to the plate, batted .263 with 3 home runs in 56. So far in this season, he's batting .111 with 3 hits and 27 appearances with 4 RBIs. Bailey on first, infield halfway, double play depth as Meyer eyes McMillan. Here is the pitch. That's a line out to second base. Sharply hit at Baker, but the L4 put out, and Bailey remains
out,
on
man
first.
The defense is
Paying
playing
attention
in
on
at
the base
corners.
pass, did not get doubled up. That'll bring up Klipstein. And with one out and an 0.099 average, we are going to try to sacrifice bunt with Klipstein. And here is the roll.
He's going to lay down a bunt.
And it was a good sacrifice bunt as he lays it down right in front of the pitcher. Meyer fields it, but his only play is first,
Two
and
outs,
that'll move
man on
Bailey
second.
over to second with 2 outs. We have a runner in scoring position for Temple, who grounded out to first his first time up. Bailey looking to run on contact as the pitch comes to Temple. Meyer gets his signal, fires away. It's hit to short, but played
No
easily
runs,
by
one
Mr.
hit,
Cub,
and one left
Ernie
on.
Banks, as he fires it over to first for out number 3 on the 6-3 putout.
Top of the third.
And one left stranded, and we go to the third with Cincinnati still up 1-0, and Gene Baker coming to the plate. Baker batted .258 with 12 home runs in 1956. In this replay, he's batting .433, 13 for 30 with 2 home runs and 3 RBIs. Klipstein gets the signal from Bailey, toes the rubber, goes to the belt. Here's the pitch. Baker digging in, swings away, and he pops it up to third. Jablonski, is this the third pop-up to Jablonski in this game? I believe so. So that's one out, one down, as Hobie Landreth comes to the plate. Landreth in 56. I had to pause the recording just for a minute. The 1.5-year-old Jack Russell just had one of her running zooming fits, so I just decided I would let her run. And Hobie Landreth coming to the plate, batted .221 in 56 with 4 home runs. He's batting .211 so far in the replay with a home run and 2 RBIs. As Klipstein, or is it Steen, toes the rubber, brings the offering and the pitch. Landreth digging in, swinging away. And we go to Crosley Field. Ballpark effect once again. Averages are in the favor of the hitter. 5 out of 6 chance for a hit. And he does not. He rolls the one, and it is a deep fly to left, or short fly out to left field, as he rolls the only thing that would have been an out.
2 outs,
And
base is empty.
that's how the rolls go sometimes, as it's a short fly to left field. That'll bring the pitcher Meyer to the plate, and he's just going to swing away with a .083 average. I'm not expecting much from him. So here comes the pitch from Klipstein to Meyer. It's hit to second. Temple
Good
up with it
quietly,
easily.
Nothing doing this half inning.
Routine ground ball over to first for a 4-3 putout.
Bottom of the third.
And out number 3, and we go to the bottom of the third with Cincinnati still up 1-0. And Stan Pallas coming back to the plate. Pallas reached on a walk his first time up, as Meyer stares down Pallas, gets the signal from Landreth, and here is the pitch. And he walks him. That's Pallas's second walk. Good eye from Pallas, as he's
No outs, man on
has
first.
a free pass once again. That'll bring up Gus Bell, who singled his last time up. Infield in, halfway, double play depth, as Meyer goes into his windup. Bell digging in, looking for something he can get the bat on, and it's a foul ball down the third base line. Banks ranging over, calls for it, and makes the play for out
One
number
out,
2
men on first.
on the pop-up 2P6. So 1 out, and that'll bring Jablonski up to the plate. Again, infield in halfway, looking for the double play as Meyer goes into his windup. Jablonski looking for something to hit. And it's a double into the corner. Palace will make it to third base as he ripped one into the left field corner.
1 out, men on
And we have
second
now
and third.
runners on second and third with 1 out. And Big George Crow coming to the plate. Single, driving in the only run of the game, his first time up. And he's got opportunity again as he has 2 runners in scoring position with Jablonski on second, Palace on third, and Meyer in a bit of a bind here as he brings the pitch. Ground out to the pitcher. He makes the play to first, but runner Bell scores from third. Jablonski moves over to third, so it's now 2-0 Cincinnati. Another RBI for Big George Bell.
2 outs, men on third.
George Crow, excuse me. It was Bell who scored. That brings up Wally Post, who lined out to short his first time up. Jablonski 90 feet away to make it 3-0 for the right fielder Post. Here comes the pitch from Meyer. Post looking to add to the lead as the pitch comes. Another ballpark effect, and that is good odds for Wally Post. He's got a 6 out of 6 chance for a single. And it's a single to left field, drops in front of Irving in left field. Jablonski scores from third and is now 3-0 Cincinnati as Post finds himself safely
2
on
outs, men on
first
first.
with an RBI scoring single to left field. That'll bring up Ed Bailey. Bailey singled his first time up as Meyer shaking his head as he sees the lead grow. Here is the pitch. And he strikes him
2
out
runs, 2 hits,
to end the
and
inning, but
1
not
left
after 2 more come across
Top of the
to
fourth.
make it 3-0 Cincinnati. As we go to the fourth, Cincinnati 3, Chicago 0. And coming to the plate for the Cubs is Don Hoke, who popped up to third his last time up. So far, Klipstein has pitched 3 innings of hitless ball. So did I just jinx him as Hoke steps to the plate. Bailey gives the signal to Klipstein. Klipstein goes into his windup. Hoke pops it up to third, and Jablonski is having a busy day on third fielding pop-ups, as that's, I believe, the 4th one that's been
1
hit
out,
to
bases
him.
empty.
Klipstein is just handcuffing the hitters. They can't get it out of the infield as Solly Drake comes to plate. He fouled out to third his last time up. Here's the pitch to Drake as Klipstein bears down on Drake. It's a line out to third base. Jablonski again active and
2 outs,
busy
bases
at
empty.
third, the hot corner, as it's the L5 put out. That'll bring up D. Fondy, who flew out to right field his last time up. Klipstein into his windup, and there goes my dog again. If you hear feet pitter-patter, that's her. And a ground ball
It's a 1-2-3 inning.
to first. Over to cover the bag is Klipstein, and it's going to be a 3-1 put out for out number 3.
Bottom of the fourth.
It's 3 up, 3 down as we go to the bottom of the 4th, and it is still 3-0 Cincinnati. and Roy McMillan coming to the plate. McMillan lined out to second his first time as Meyer eyes McMillan, gets the signal from Landreth. Here is the pitch. And it's an infield single, but with a possible error as it's nubbed right in front of the catcher. His hurry up to throw to first may be wild, and with that number of 11, the chance for an error is high. And as it is higher, it is an error, and he's safely at second on the throwing error by the catcher, so that's an E2, and McMillan moves down to second.
The defense is playing in at the corners.
That'll bring up Klipstein, who is going to lay down the bunt once again with a runner on second. The corners are in for the sacrifice.
He's going to lay down a bunt.
And here is the roll. And roll against fielder's error rating. And Hoke is a 15 as well. Hoke has trouble fielding the bunt as it's a slow roller. And he boots it. Runner on second moves to third, and Klipstein reaches on the error. So we have runners on the corners with no outs. And Meyer is shaking his head. He's thinking, I'm having enough trouble my own with errors being added to it, with this being the second in the game. That'll bring up Johnny Temple, who's grounded out to short both times up today. And he has runners on first and second. Infield in halfway, double play depth. They will concede the run to get 2 outs. As Temple digs in, Meyer going into his windup, and the pitch. And it's hit to second, another possible error. And it's another error on the Cubs as a run will score. Klipstein will move over to second. Temple reaches on the error on the E4. And things are just going from bad to worse for the Chicago Cubs as Stan Pallas comes to the plate, who's reached on walks both times up. Again, runners on first and second. Double play depth. And Pallas digging in. Meyer, with a look of disgust on his face, bears down, brings the pitch. It's hit to third. It's a ground out, force at second. So it'll be the fielder's choice over to second to get the force. And now runners on the corners.
Men on first and third.
With 1 out. And Gus Bell coming to the plate. He's 1 for 2 on the day with a single and a foul out to short his last time up. So Meyer hoping to get out a ground ball to possibly turn 2 if his fielders could actually field the ball. Here's pop up too short. Easy play for Ernie Banks as he does the P6 put out.
2
for
outs,
out number
men
2.
on first and third.
And can Meyer get out of this inning with only 1 run coming across with runners on first and second? And that brings Jablonski, Jabo, back to the plate. He doubled his last time up. Can he continue in that? As Landreth gives the signal to Meyer. Meyer toes the rubber, brings the pitch. And it's another ballpark effect. And look at that ballpark, so kind to the home team, as that is a 6 out of 6 chance for another single. And it's a single to left field. That will score another run. And third base coach, what will you tell Pallas, who is told to hold since he does not run well? So it's now 5-0.
Men on first and second.
With 7 hits on 7 hits. And Meyer is beginning to fade as Big George Crow comes to the plate with 2 RBIs already in this game. Here's the pitch to Crow from Meyer. It's a looping drive to right field. Walt Morin chasing it down. And he gets to it. He shoestrings it for out number 3, saving any other runs coming across. But after 4, we go to the 5th with Cincinnati up 5-0 on the Chicago Cubs. And Klipstein enjoying the cushion as Ernie, Mr. Cub Banks, comes to the plate, grounded out to second his first time up. As Klipstein goes into his windup, Banks digs in, looking to get something going for the Cubs. And here, will this be the end of the no-hitter? It will be, as Ernie Banks singles into center field. So we finally have a runner on for the Cubs with a leadoff single by Ernie Banks. That'll bring up Walt Moran, who popped up to third, infield in, halfway, double play depth, as Klipstein just kind of grins, shakes his head, said, I knew I wouldn't go all the way. Here's the pitch to Moran as Banks takes a slight lead. It's a single off the fielder's glove. Temple could not get to it as it scoots past the second baseman, so it's a single by Moran, and we got something going here for the Cubs here in the 5th with 2 runners on, no outs, and Monty Irvin coming to the plate, who struck out his first time up. Again, infield in, halfway, looking to turn 2 as Irvin gets ready to hit. He digs in. Klipstein gets the signal from Bailey, and here is the pitch, and he walks him, so the bases are dripping with Cubs as
no outs, bases
he walks
loaded.
the bases loaded with no outs, and Gene Baker coming to the plate, who popped up to third his last time up. We'll get a column 5 re-roll to see if there's any other action going on, and it's a pitch in the dirt, but it is blocked, and it does not
no outs,
go any further. So good play by the catcher as Bailey stops it in front of him, and Gene Baker steps in once again as Klipstein goes into his windup. Baker stepping in, and it's a possible double play as he hits it sharply to second. And it's going to be anything. Yes, looks like it's going to be a double play. And he is doubled up at first, but that will score a run. But now we have 2 outs,
men on third,
and any kind of chance for an extended run by the Cubs was just hindered there with that double play as Hobie Landreth comes to the plate. He flew out to left field his last time up. Here's the pitch from Klipstein. And it's a short fly ball to center field. Bell racing up to get it on the F8 putout for out number 3.
Bottom of the 5th.
And now we go to the bottom of the 5th with a score 5-1 Cincinnati. And Wally Post coming to the plate. 1 for 2 on the day, singled his last time up, driving in a run. Here's the pitch to Post as Meyer gets the signal from Landreth. And he strikes him out. Strikes out Post. Got him on the bender. Got him guessing. And that'll be the second strikeout for Meyer as Ed Bailey comes to the plate, who struck out his first time up. Bailey steps in. Meyer gets the signal from Landreth. Goes into his windup. The delivery, the pitch. And it's hit to first. Fondy up with it. Unassisted, just steps on the bag for out number 2. As I have an owl making some noise in the background as well. As Roy McMillan now steps to the plate, he singled his last time up as Meyer looks to get a 1-2-3 inning. Here's the pitch from Meyer to McMillan. McMillan steps in, takes a swing at it. Deep fly, center field. Drake backing up, settles underneath it for the F8 putout And out number 3. And we go to the 6th. Cincinnati 5, Chicago 1. So 5-1 Cincinnati over the Cubs as Russ Meyer, the pitcher, comes to the plate. And I think that's going to be all for him. Who do I want to bring in? Not sure why I... Trying to make a substitution. I think the computer's just a little slow. Won't allow me to do it. I do not know why. So Meyer will continue to hit. I'm having a little trouble with my game here. There we go. Here we go. So here comes the pitch to Meyer.
They're going to use a pinch hitter.
And he pops up to second for out number 1.
1 out, base is empty.
And I said it was a pinch hitter, Frank Kellert. I don't know how that happened. So Don Hoke back to the plate. He's popped up to third both times in this game. So let's see if he can continue that hot hitting streak as he fouls out to second this time. So at least he got it on the right side of the diamond as Temple makes the play.
2 out, base is empty.
As he ranges over to the right field line and takes a shallow pop out for out number 2, and that's going to bring up Solly Drake, who's hit it right at Jablonski both times today. So here is the pitch to Drake. He digs in, Klipstein with the pitch. Short
And just
fly
like
out,
that, the inning's
center
over.
field. Bell underneath it for the F8 putout, and out number 3.
Bottom of the 6th.
3 up
They're
and 3
bringing in a
down.
new pitcher.
We go to the bottom of the 6th. Cincinnati 5. Chicago. For some reason in my head, I thought I was controlling Chicago. Maybe not. Klipstein wanting to stay in, pitching well. Here's the pitch from Pictusis. Short fly ball, center field. Drake underneath it for the F8 putout.
One out,
number
base
1.
is empty.
That'll bring up Johnny Temple. Reached on an error his last time up. As George Pictusis had a 7.20 ERA. Only pitched 5 innings in 56, so not a whole lot to get from him, as Temple doesn't know what to expect from George here, the lefty. As he brings the pitch, Temple digs in. And it's down the left field line, and a double for Temple as he hits a 1-out double.
1 out, man on second.
To left field. And that'll bring up Stan Paulus, who's walked twice and grounded out to third his last time up. Here is the pitch from Pictusis. And he walks him. Runners now on first and second.
1 out, men on first and second.
As Gus Bell comes to the plate. He's 1 for 3 on the day. Popped up to short his last time up. Landreth goes into his, gives a signal. Pictusis with the windup and the pitch. Hit to second base. Possible error on Baker, who's already had 1 today. Here is the roll for the error. And this time he makes the play. That roll of 14 helps him out as he fields it. But that will move runners on the corner.
2 outs, men on first and third.
And as they got the force at second, that'll bring up Ray Jablonski, who's been busy at third and been swinging a pretty good bat. He's 2 for 3 on the day, the double and a single. As Jablonski digs in, Pictusis looks to get out of the inning without anything else coming across. And he doubles into the corner. Runner on third scores, and runner on first moves to third.
2 outs, men on second and third.
The runner on third scores 6-1 now, Cincinnati. That brings up Big George Crow, who's 1 for 3 on the day. Here's the pitch to Crow. Runners on second and third. And it's a
1
short
run,
fly
2
to center
hits,
field in the
and 2
inning,
left
but
on.
not after another run comes across for a 6-1
Top of the 7th.
Cincinnati lead as we go to the 7th. Klipstein back on the mound with a 5-run lead. He's only allowed 2 hits and 1 run. As D. Fondy comes to the plate, grounded out to first his last time up. Here is the pitch. And that's a home run. D. Fondy takes that offering and puts it over the outfield wall for a deep shot. That one caught me by surprise as he blasted that one into the seats for a
No
for
outs,
1
base
run.
is
As it's
empty.
now a 6-2 ball game. And Klipstein just kicks the dirt as Ernie Mr. Cub Banks comes to the plate, high-fiving Fondy as he goes to the dugout. Ernie Banks steps in. And he doubles to the center field gap. And
No outs, men on second.
that will be all for Mr. Klipstein as the crowd cheers for the effort he's put in, or jeers, I should say. Or no, they cheer. He's pitched well. As we'll just bring in the best pitcher on hand. Let's bring in Nuxall. I don't want to bring in Freeman yet. So Joe Nuxall comes in. He had 3 saves with a 13.11 average with a 3.72 ERA, as Walt Morin is stepping in. No outs. Runner on second in Banks. And Joe Nuxall gets the signal from Bailey. Here is the pitch. And he pops him up to second base. Temple underneath it for the P3 putout.
One out,
number
on
1.
Second.
That's going to bring up Monty Irvin, who's hitless on the day. He did walk his last time up. One moment. So here we are in the 7th. 6-2 game. 1 run coming across here in the 7th for the Cubs. Ernie Banks on second. And Monty Irvin stepping in as Bailey gives a signal to Nuxall. Here is the pitch. It's a triple into center field. Irvin triples into center field, scoring Banks. And now it is 6-3 as the Cubs are getting things going here in the 7th. 2 runs across. Runner on third. Nuxall struggling as Gene Banker comes to the plate. 0 for 3 on the day. As Nuxall gets the signal from Bailey. Here's the pitch. And he strikes him out for out number 2.
2 outs,
That's
men
going
on
to bring
third.
Landreth to the plate. Obie Landreth flew out to center field his last time up. 6-3 ball game. Runner on third. And Nuxall looking to close out the inning and stop any further bleeding. And he walks Landreth. Obie Landreth now puts runners on the corners.
2 outs, men
as
on
he gets
first
the
and
free
third.
pass as Nuxall is struggling here in the 7th. But that brings up the pitcher, Pictusis.
The manager calls for a pinch hitter.
And here he will not be going to the plate as Harry Chitty comes to the plate. Batted .212 in the 56 season. Here's the pitch from Nuxall. Short
Two
fly
runs,
to center
3
field.
hits,
Bell
and
settles
2 left
underneath it
on.
for out number 3. But 2 runs do come across as it's now a 6-3 ball game, and this game's
Bottom of
got
the
a
7th.
little more interesting.
They're bringing in a new pitcher.
So we go to the bottom of the 7th, 6-3, as on the mound for the Cubs now is Jim Davis. Davis in 56 had a 5-7 win-loss record with 2 saves and a 3.66 ERA. And coming to the plate, Wally Post. Jim Davis gets the signal from Landreth. Here is the pitch to Post. And we get our first rare play of the game. If I roll a 3 or a 5, it could be a rare play. It is not. It's a dribbler to the mound. Pitcher tries to retire batter. I'm going to roll against Post speed. 5 or 6, it's an out. Anything else, it's a single. hits a 4. It's going to be an infield single for Wally Post as he beats out the throw from
No outs, men on first.
Davis, who could not field it and get it over in time to get Post. As Ed Bailey now comes to the plate. 1 for 3 on the day. Grounded out to first his last time up. Post on first, infield halfway, double play depth. Here comes the pitch from Davis. It's a line out to center field as he hits it sharply at Drake in center field. Drake takes 2 steps over, stabs it out of the air for the line drive put out in center field, the F8.
1 out, men on first.
For out number 1. Post still on first. Infield halfway in, double play depth for Roy McMillan. McMillan 1 for 3 on the day. Flew out to center field his last time up. Here is the pitch from Davis as McMillan takes his swing at it. And he hits a fly ball to left field. Back for it goes Urban. And long out on the F7 put out.
2 outs, men on first.
Urban throws it back in. 2 outs as Nuxall comes to the plate, and he'll be having a seat. As we'll bring in a right-handed hitting Frank Robinson to pitch hit. I know what my problem was a while ago. I keep forgetting I'm playing as Cincinnati and not as Chicago, and I was trying to sub for Chicago, and that's the computer's job. Frank Robinson steps in. Frank Robinson in 56, batted .290 with 38 home runs. Here is the pitch to Robinson. Davis, a little nervous, pitching to the legend Robinson, and he singles to center field, moving Post over to third as he lines one into center field, drops in front of Drake. Runners now on the corner.
2 outs, men on first and third.
2 outs. And Temple back to the plate. Temple doubled his last time up. It's Robinson on first, Post on third. Davis into his windup and the pitch. And he hits
no runs,
deep fly ball left field.
2 left on.
Settling underneath it is Urban for out number 3. So 2 left on, 2 stranded here in the bottom of the 7th.
Top of the 8th.
And we go to the 8th. 6-3 Cincinnati, and I need a new pitcher who will have to face the top of the lineup. And we will bring in Freeman for this outing as Hirsch Freeman comes in. He's 14-5 with 18 saves and a 1.34 whip and a 3.40 ERA. So he looks to come in and close out this game, get the last 6 outs of the game as Don Hope comes to the plate. Leadoff hitter is Ofer on the day. Here's the pitch from Freeman, gets the signal from Bailey as Hope digs in. Freeman brings the pitch, and he calmly walks him and gives Hoke a free pass.
No outs, men on first.
Last thing you want to do when you step in as the closing pitcher is walk your first batter. And will there be a wild pitch? Column 5 re-roll, and it's in the dirt, but it is blocked once again as the catcher has
men on first.
had his opportunities to make plays today with some of the balls in the dirt, and Bailey comes through once again as Solly Drake comes to the plate. Infield in halfway. Drake 0 for 3 on the day. Here's the pitch to Drake. Freeman bearing down. Hit to second. Ground out, force at second. So it's a force play at second. Fielder's choice. Drake will be on, but there is one down.
One
now
out, man on first.
As D. Fondy comes to the plate. He hit a home run his last time up as he blasted his home run. And that's not something he does often. It's Fondy looking to get the pitch from Freeman. It's a looping drive to left field. Stan Paulus racing for it. And he will not get it as his defense is only a 2. That roll of a 5 was an easy call. And now it drops in front of Paulus. Runners now on first and third.
1 out, men on first and third.
1 out. Infield again will stay at double play depth, and the dangerous Ernie Banks coming to play. 2 for 3 on the day, doubled his last time up. Ernie Banks digs in. Here's the pitch from Freeman as Bailey tells him, be careful. And he fouls it out to the shortstop. McMillan races over to the third base line and makes the play for out
Two
number
outs,
2.
men on first and
Banks
third.
missed that opportunity. That'll bring up Walt Morin, who 1 for 3 on the day, popped up to second his last time up. Hirsch Freeman looking to pitch himself out of this little jam as he goes into his windup. Morin steps in, takes his swing at it. He doubles to center field. And will there be another run coming across with Fondy? It looks like it's so. And all of a sudden, we have a 6-5 ball game here in the 8th as Hirsch Freeman is struggling. That brings up Irvin, who tripled his last time up. Freeman staring down Morin at second. Toes the rubber, gets the signal from Bailey, and here is the pitch. And I thought the pitch was coming. There it is. And he strikes him out. Irvin goes down swinging. So he closes out the inning, but not after 2 runs come across. And we have a 6-5 ball game here, going to the bottom of the 8th.
Bottom of the 8th.
So the Cubs are going to insert Mixus in at right field to get some defense in the game now that it's a 6-5 ball game. Stan Paulus coming to the plate, who has walked 3 times in this game. A good eye from Paulus as Jim Davis still on the mound. He walks Paulus once again. Paulus, a lot of free passes today with a good eye.
The defense is playing in at the
corners.
corners.
A runner on first. And Gus Bell coming to the plate. Gus Bell 1 for 3 on the day. That's Paulus. The corners are in. And it's a short fly to center field for out number 1.
1 out, man on first.
That brings up Jablonski, who has a great day going on. He's 3 for 4 with 2 doubles and a single. Can he continue the hot hitting? Infield in halfway, double play depth as Davis bears down on Jablonski. Jablonski grinning and swinging, and he struck him out. Jim Davis gets Jablonski on the high heat, and that'll bring up big George Crowe. 2 RBIs for Crowe on the day, 1 for 4. Crowe steps in. Davis into his windup and the pitch. And it's hit to short. Over to first. Ernie Banks makes the play easily on a 6-3 putout. And we go to the 9th with a 6-5 ball game. And Hirsch Freeman on the mound. Gene Baker coming to the plate. Baker, 0 for on the day, struck out his last time up. And he grounded into a double play as well. Here is the pitch. And he fouls it out to second base as Temple races over to the first base line and makes the play, calls off
One
his
out,
first
base is
baseman,
empty.
and makes the play for out number 1. And Hobie Landreth coming to the plate. Landreth walked his last time up. Freeman looking to do better than he did in the 8th. Here comes the pitch from Freeman. That's the pop up to third. So the Cubs are down to their last out.
2 outs, base is empty.
Hirsch Freeman looking to improve on his 8th inning. And that brings up the pitcher Davis. I doubt the computer's going to put him out to hit. Let's see who they bring in to pinch hit. That'll be Jim King, who batted .249 with 15 home runs in 1956. Freeman just looks at King, grins, gets his signal from Bailey, goes into his windup, and the pitch. And he hits a sharp liner to left field, but Paulus ranges quickly over to it, makes the play, and that is our ball game. It got interesting in the end as the Cubs come storming back, but the Reds take this one 6-5, and the Cubs drop to 2-6. Cincinnati improves to 4-4. The win goes to Klipstein, the loss to Meyer. Hirsch Freeman gets the save, and Ray Jablonski gets the player MVP of the game. Let's take a look at our box score before we exit out of this. It was a good pitching effort by Klipstein. As we go down to the pitching, for Chicago, Meyer went 5 innings with 7 hits, allowing 5 runs, 3 of them earned, walked 2 and struck out 2 with a 6.3 ERA and 26 batters faced. Pictussis came in, pitched an inning, gave up 2 hits and a run. One of those, it was an earned run. Walked 1 and faced 6 batters. And then Jim Davis came in, pitched 2 innings, allowed 2 hits, no runs, walked 1 and struck out 1. For the winning Cincinnati club, Klipstein pitched 6 innings, allowed 4 hits and 3 runs, all of them earned. He struck out 1, walked 1, and allowed a home run in the 22 batters he faced. Jim Nuxall came in, pitched 1 inning, allowed 1 hit. He walked 1, struck out 1. And then Hirsch Freeman came in, pitched 2 innings, allowed 2 hits, 2 runs, both earned, walked 1, struck out 1. And that is our game. I hope you enjoyed it as we close out this game and exit out. We're going to close out the day. And we're going to close out the week and then look at our standings so far in this replay using PC Replay. And in our standings. So far in the standings, we've got Boston on top of the American League at 7-2, followed by Cleveland at 8-3, Chicago at 4-2, a game and a half back. In the National League, you got Milwaukee up on top at 5-1, followed by Pittsburgh at 7-4, a half game back, and the Mets at 6-5. Then the rest of the crew. So that's the standings with the PC Replay. And we'll get more from our other games as we go forward. Hope you enjoyed the game. Have a blessed evening. Solely Daily Glory.